Hi, welcome back. It's Casey from the Indio Library with the Riverside County Library System for another video light novel review. This week we are going to be talking about the first 4 volumes of Sword Art Online. I know, Sword Art Online is like everybody's favorite story to hate on. And we'll talk briefly about that, but let's go ahead and get started. So why the first 4 volumes? Well, because they cover the first 2 story arcs of the series and they're very tightly connected. The story follows a young man, Kazuto Kirigaya, whose name in-game is Kirito. And the game he plays is called Sword Art Online, surprisingly enough. It's a virtual reality full dive game. You put on this headset and you lay down in bed or sit in a chair, and your brain translates these signals into a virtual avatar. So everything you do is in game. It's not just your field of vision, and you don't have to swing your arms around, to actually do things like current VR type things. He was a beta tester for this game, and it's one of 10,000 players to get into this first wave. While there, he meets another player named Klein and helps him out. Klein needs to log out to go have dinner and finds out the logout button is missing. Everybody in the game is forcibly transported to the center of the first level, where they are told by the creator of the game, Akihiko Kayaba, that by design they are now trapped in this game and can't get out. If they die in the game, they die in real life. If somebody in real life tries to take off the virtual reality gear, it will kill them. And the only way to win, or the only way to get out, is to clear all 100 floors of the game in Castle Einkrad and beat the final boss. So after Kayaba tells them that, a lot of people obviously freak out. Some people, figure, okay, he's just joking and commit suicide. It's pretty tense. Kirito understands that he's being serious and immediately wants to start getting stronger and offers to take Klein with him. Klein says, no, I've got to meet my friends, and Kirito runs off by himself. So from the beginning, he's always been a little bit of a loner and not much into working with other people except to clear the floor bosses. That only really changes a little bit later after he meets Asuna, who becomes his love interest, and they actually get married in the game. What's really interesting, if you've seen the anime, you'll know what I'm talking about, and if you haven't, this skinny little volume, that's it. They beat Einkrad in 1 book, which is really surprising. Volume 2 has some side stories where Kirito meets some other people. They go on some various adventures. One of them, they go into a dragon's lair to get a very rare ore so that this blacksmith can make him a new sword, which you find out gives him a dual wielding skill. Or he had the skill, but he wanted the sword to use it. Anyway, so essentially these 2 volumes cover the entirety of the first season of the anime, which is really unusual. Usually it's significantly fewer episodes per book. So anyway, they clear the game, or Kirito clears the game in this book, and at that point there are about 6,000 players left alive. And they all get out except for about 300. And nobody's quite sure what happened to those 300. Unfortunately, one of those 300 was Asuna, his girlfriend. And that's where we come into the second series. So in the second pair of books, there's a new game, Alfheim Online, using a different, newer model of the VR gear that doesn't have the ability to fry your brain. It's a very player versus player heavy game. You play one of several elf races. They don't tend to get along, but they can all fly. but they can't fly indefinitely. Your wings run out of power after a while, and you have to recharge. And they all have this idea that if you can get to the world tree in the center and make it all the way to the top, you'll be presented to the King of the Fairies, and he will grant that person and their race the ability to fly as long as they want. So everybody, of course, is anxious to do this, and nobody wants to work together to make it happen. Well, a group of people got together and said, okay, we're going to fly up the outside using kind of a slingshot system. So the person on the bottom carried everybody else up, and when their ring power ran out, they, launched the next person, and so on and so forth. And the person at the top, they only made it up, I want to say they said about halfway, but anyway, didn't even get close to the top, but they snapped some screenshots. And in one of them, you can barely make out what looks to be a giant bird cage with someone in it, and it looks like Asuna. Kirito finds out from one of his buddies from Aincrad, and of course has to go check it out. So he creates a character and jumps in, and of course things go immediately wrong for him. And he ends up going through, again, a great number of adventures, makes some new friends, finds out that his sister/cousin is actually playing the game. It's quite crazy. And that's where a lot of the controversy comes in. A lot of people really dislike the Alfheim bit of this. It relegates Asuna, who is an extremely strong character, a very viable, strong female character, to nothing. She's trapped. She doesn't accomplish anything. She escapes once, but still doesn't manage to do anything. A lot of people just didn't like that, and I can appreciate that. But there are other strong female characters. Leafa, for instance, is very good at what she does. So while Asuna's kind of off to the side here, the other reason I love it is because at the end, Kirito and Asuna end up together, and I'm a sucker for these romances. So anyway, a lot of fun. They're not very long, very quick reads. If you've seen the anime, there's a few extra details in here. If you haven't seen the anime, these are a great place to start. There's a lot more to come. There's, the Gun Gale. There's some additional Aincrad/Alfheim stuff. And then, of course, the whole Alicization arc, which is currently streaming. The other thing that Reiki Kawahara has done, oh, by the way, he's the author, is they go through, well, floors 1 through 75. He actually beats the game on floor 75 instead of 100. If you find that too fast, he's started writing another series, Sword Art Online Progressive. Look at the difference in these books, if you can see. Floors 1 through 75, floor 1. That's it. Just one floor in this book. And it's significantly longer, a lot more detailed. The story obviously has had to change because of that. I would recommend reading the original first just because it's fun, quick, and it'll give you a background for who these people are, even though a lot of the day-to-day details get changed in Progressive. But Progressive is a very interesting story, and I really hope there's more to come because I've very much enjoyed it. Anyway, all of these books are just part of the hundreds that we have here at Indio in our light novels or graphic novels and manga. We've got a ton of those as well. If perchance you are interested in any of these or any of our others, just give us a call at 760-347-2383 or check us out on the web at www.rivlib.net. This info will be in the description below, so you can click on those links, or you can see it on the screen after this. Don't forget to like and subscribe to be apprised of any new light novel reviews coming out and or story times, which we hope to have coming soon. Thank you for joining us this week, and we'll see you next time.